this last news story we're going to get to here. Overwatch 2 won't be getting any more PvE story missions until at least 2024. It's from Hope Bellington over at Games Radar. Yeah. So Overwatch 2 won't be getting any new PvE story missions for at least the next couple of seasons. The game's executive producer has confirmed, appearing in a recent live stream with Twitch streamer Emong. Maybe that's how you say it. Jared Noose, executive producer of Overwatch 2, discussed the game's PvE content, revealing that we won't be getting any new missions until a couple more seasons have passed. Don't expect the next round of story missions in the next season and the season after that, or anything like that, Noose explains. It is very much like trying to find that balance between getting story missions in front of the players quickly, because we love story stuff, and giving ourselves enough time to make changes or add features. The producer continues. Noose didn't give us a date for when to expect the new PvE content, but judging from his comments as well as the timing of Overwatch 2's new seasons, it would be fair to assume the developer is hinting towards a 2024 timeframe. Elsewhere in the stream, Noose goes on to say, to be fair, there's a bunch of stuff that we want to do next year, or that are already in development for next year, that will fill the gaps that people will have in between. Noose continues. We're trying to make it so that it doesn't feel like and then there's nothing for a long extended period of time. It's more like there's this cool thing and there's this other narrative thing and there's other narrative thing. We keep telling interesting stories and moving that all forward. This is all very interesting to read, only because we did a story a couple months ago now about how they canceled the single player mode, the story mode, which is wild because that's like the reason they made Overwatch 2. Was because like, hey, for some reason we can't make single player mode work on Overwatch 1, so we're making a new game. For
some reason this can't be an update.
Yeah.
For Overwatch 1. You can call it Overwatch 1 2.0.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Fortnite figured it out. And then
or just call it Overwatch, like maybe make it an umbrella and then just add all that stuff into the first game. Yeah. We can't do that for some reason.
Yeah. So they make a new game and then they are like, oh, actually it's too much work, so we're not gonna make single player content for the new game. It's like, what the heck are you talking about? What is happening? So, I mean, you're the resident Overwatch expert. Do you have any thoughts on this? Like, have you played Overwatch 2 at all? I guess I'm trying to remember if you've played it at all.
Yeah. Give me just a second. Sorry.
Yeah. No worries.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I played a little bit of the first Overwatch, but never really got an Overwatch 2, which is wild because it's free to play. You think I would have jumped in and tried it, but I guess, yeah, again, it comes down to, I guess it's just all confusing. They cancel single player content because they don't have enough time and manpower to make a full story mode, or they weren't able to fit it within their the frame that they wanted to fit it within. But then they're like, hey, we're still going to do story stuff, but now it's PvE. It sounds cool. Don't get me wrong. Like, maybe I'll jump in to check it out like at some point, not anytime soon. I have enough other games to play right now. But I guess for me, it just seems contradictory. Like, hey, we can't do it. It's not working. And then we're like, oh, actually, we are going to do it. It's just not going to be single player now. It sounds like they're taking everything they had for single player mode and moving it over to PvE, which I guess that's better than nothing, but yeah. So let's see. Assassin Dude in chat, bro, Overwatch 2, low-key dope, but at the moment it's terrible. It's like not even fair. Okay, so is it a broken game then? Again, I haven't played Overwatch 2 at all, but is it like just really like fairly, like as far as like the way the characters are and stuff? Is it just like, is the meta broken? Is that type of messed up, or is it just like performance-wise? Because honestly, like, I've steered clear of it, not only because of just how weird and shady the whole Overwatch 2 thing has been, in my opinion, but also Activision Blizzard stuff in general, I've been kind of steering clear of just because of, I don't know. I'm not a fan of Activision Blizzard right now with the whole...
Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. With the Bobby Kotick and stuff like that. So I haven't played any Activision Blizzard stuff. I've been kind of like, I guess low-key kind of boycotting it. But okay, Assassin Dude 110 confirms the meta is just broken over on Overwatch 2 as well. He says it's a dope game, but it's just terrible to play because it's not fair. Like the characters are busted, I guess.
I played it when it first came out.
Okay.
And it felt a little off then, but I also claim that, or I can attribute that to maybe Overwatch 1 bias because I was so used to playing Overwatch 1.
Right.
And then I don't know. It just never, the new 5v5 just never really clicked with me because I play support and I just feel like, I don't know, there wasn't enough meat for me. Like I didn't feel like we were playing as a unit a lot when I was playing with people on there.
Okay.
And then I just kind of drifted off, which is weird because I love Overwatch. Like I said, I've been playing Overwatch since it came out.
Yeah.
And then we get the news that there's no PvE, which is the whole point of what Overwatch 2 was supposed to be for.
Well, there is PvE, but there's not the single player.
There's no PvE like they were saying there was going to be PvE.
Exactly. There's going to be like single player story mission kind of thing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then now we hear that the PvE that they were, that they were canceling, or that the whole thing. Now we're not getting it till next year.
Yeah. It's so confusing and convoluted. Like I feel like they've really lost the lead
because
on this one.
And I say that because what updates have there been to the multiplayer that have been so significant that you felt the need to push PvE missions back that far? And I think Assassin Dude just said it, right? Like the meta's already broken, or it's been broken for a while. So what are we really doing?
Yeah.
That would be my question.
Yeah. Yeah, he says meta, and then he just commented again saying the ranking system and competitive is ridiculous as well. So it's like, sounds like overall
that got completely overhauled, I believe, too.
It's just a mess over there. So yeah,
like I said it last time. I said I really hate that, an IP with such potential like Overwatch. I mean, Overwatch could have been absolutely massive.
Yeah,
just with the lore itself, the characters, the cast, and Blizzard has a top-notch cinematic studio. I honestly believe that if they would have had enough time and money, they could have done a feature film. And I think it would have been great.
I mean, yeah, just anytime they announce a new character, they put out those little shorts and stuff. Like they're always so sick. Again, as a player who's like rarely actually played the game, very little of the first one, I was always like immediately like into it when I was like, oh, this looks so cool. Like
those were the things that drew me. I don't know if you remember. I think it was at a BlizzCon when they showed that first shot, the first short where they were at a museum. They were at the Overwatch museum, and then Reaper and they were trying to steal Doomfist's glove. And Tracer comes in. They have this battle all across the museum. Tracer and Winston are there, and Widow and Reaper are trying to steal it, and it was like a 10-minute short, I think, something like that. And I watched that and I said, I can't believe that this is a cinematic intro for a game. And that's what got me interested in Overwatch in the first place.
Yeah.
And I say all that to say that I think this is just a magnificent mismanagement of an IP.
Yes.
That honestly could have been going for much, much longer. And I think it's not going to end well if they continue down this path. I don't know what they can do to fix it. Like I said, the leadership that they had in place is no longer there. I just think that they don't have, I shouldn't say they don't have people who don't care, because clearly they care about, the craft of making games. But I think the vision is just misguided. So,
yeah, I would have to agree. Just as an outsider looking in, it's things have kind of gone off the rails over there. I mean, we've done a couple stories now already about how messed up it is. So crazy.
And then they like to say, we can't feasibly support the PvE and the PvP at the same time. You're Blizzard. What are you talking about?
They got money.
You're under Activision.
My God.
You know how much money Activision makes every year? Just with Call of Duty? And then King.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Just in a day on Warzone, like I'm sure they make just insane amounts of money from the microtransactions.
And then they could probably say, well, we don't make the returns that I wonder why you don't make the return on investment.
Because you're giving,
it's probably because the product is not very good.
And because you're giving bonuses to Bobby Kotick. Stop paying to, terrible people, and then that'll solve all your problems.
And now here's the thing, right? And this is not necessarily on, it's actually not at all on the actual team making the game, right? If Activision is not giving them the resources that they need to, aka money or people, then I empathize. I sympathize with the team. I get it. It's rough. You had to make a terrible decision, but I don't know. I don't know where this IP is headed.
Yeah,
and it sucks because I really loved it. It was one of the few things that was different in games. It was, I don't know, at its basis level, it had color in it. And it had fun, different characters. And I don't know. It just felt like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
From all the gray and brown and camouflage shooters and whatnot. And you had to work as a team. You actually had to work as a team. You can't just Rambo everything or else you'll lose.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
no, it was, I mean, it very obviously had something special because the first one people loved and adored. So the fact that the second one is getting hated on so much, it's like, all right, it's not without good reason, because it's not like.
And I'll never get to play it again because they took it offline.
That's what's wild to me, is that they, like, it's one thing to like make a new game, but then they completely shut down the old, like the other one. That doesn't, I know it happens, but not often. I mean, you can still play freaking old. You can play like Call of Duty Black Ops still, like, or the Black Ops 3 or something like that. And I'm like, that game is
because they want people to play 2 so bad. Like I hundreds of hours I've played of Overwatch, and it's gone. And it's not because these are legacy servers. Nobody's playing on them anymore. Plenty of people were still playing Overwatch 1.
Yeah, I'm sure there is quite a good number of them.
So
yeah, well, stay tuned for when they finally release a story mission, because we'll see. We might,
if they do that.
Yeah, if they do, we might cover it here and you'll hear about it. You'll maybe Adrian will even dust off his Overwatch 2 cartridge and give it a shot, We'll see.
I'm not making any promises.
No promise. Okay. Thank you so much for watching that clip from our podcast. Remember, if you want to watch the whole episode, the full episode, link will be in the description below. You can click on that and check it out. We got listener questions. We got more news segments. We got what you playing. We got a lot of fun things. So yeah, more than just the news. There's a lot more to the show that you should go check out. So remember, click that link in the description. Check out that full episode.